Hello, McFans. This is Duncan Fisher. Hold on firmly to your mana potions, fireballs, and familiars, because you are tuning in to your regularly scheduled episode of the First Circuit Podcast.
Hello and welcome to a special episode of the First Circuit Podcast. Today we're returning with a guest, IQFish from Top Gun Media. You may remember him from our episode about the Hired Steel cinematic pilot episode. And today he's going to be back to talk with us a bit about the final release of episode 1 of Hired Steel. Hey IQFish, welcome and thank you very much for being here.
Hi, thank you for having me.
And first off, congratulations on the release of the episode. It took a while, and oh my god, it came out so amazing.
It was great.
And we're just gonna spend the next 20 minutes gushing over the episode, most likely.
That's probably what's it to be.
So first off, what I'm super interested in, how did you feel before you released the episode? Was there anticipation? Was there excitement?
Yeah, it was definitely because we kept on working on the final shots up until like 2 days before the release.
Wow.
The last renderings came out, and then we had the final version, which was, I think, version 34 of the video, and then we just set the premiere date, and then we waited, which was weird and new, but it was fun.
Did you do like a premiere like on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
Totally missed
Never-
that.
yeah.
Never done that
Same.
before.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
We've never done that before. We always just release the videos, and then this time we thought of a premiere, and then the date came, and then YouTube added this 2-minute countdown, which I didn't know was happening. So people were like, "Oh, another countdown." But yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, and you have a lot of people comment like basically when you're doing the premiere too.
Mhm.
What about it? Cool, man. Cool, awesome.
So how did you plan the timing of the premiere? Did you set any specific? Did you figure out the time zones and all the things, or did you just randomly pick something?
So we have the TMC channel for 7 years now, 8 years almost, which is also super crazy. And our analytics are quite detailed by now. And there's actually this little section in the YouTube analytics that tells you when's the best time to release a video. And for us, that's Friday at 6 p.m. German time. So
Okay.
we just picked Friday, 6 p.m. German time.
Nice.
Good idea.
Very cool. See, Bob, this is how a professional YouTuber does it.
Hey, I
Yeah.
do that too. It says 3:00 in the morning for me, so shut up.
Yes. Check your analytics because it might not be what you think it is.
Yeah, exactly. It's different for different people around the world.
Yeah.
So from my gut feeling, it seems like the fan reaction was overwhelmingly positive. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about all that positive feedback?
Let's just say, for me and the team, the last days have been pretty crazy. I mean, we are up to 6,500 subscribers now from like 700 when we started with Hired Steel. The video has like almost 750 comments.
Wow.
40,000 views, which is the view to comment ratio is super off with this video. Normally you have 750 comments on a video that has like 100 or 200k. So we somehow managed to engage a lot of the people, and I mean, obviously the support from the community has been amazing. Also on Patreon, that thing has more than tripled in size. So we have much more possibilities now going forward.
Fantastic. Congrats.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 17 people that disliked it. They're in the dark age, so
Yeah.
it's cool.
You always have those. I mean, we've got so many different comments. Some people hate the Neuro helmets that we've done, and some people love them because they are not looking like the old ones. So you can never make it right for everybody. But I guess we hit a pretty good middle ground.
Well, like, like how can you? I mean, the old Neuro helmets. I mean, come on, they were pretty. They were bad. They were horrible.
Looks
Your
like a bucket
Neuro
of
helmets
water.
are fine, man.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're cool. I mean, plus also too, like a Neuro helmet just has a little back thing supposed to go inside your, like whatever hookup you have, basically, and that's it. And that's all it is, and that's fine.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. It's been great, and I mean we've got so many emails of people offering help and stuff. We have a little website now where we do like let's call it job positions, where we are looking for people to help us in different areas, and the whole operation is just growing and growing, and we are already full steam ahead on episode 2, so that's cool.
Good.
Cleaning up the last debris from episode 1 and also simultaneously working on the script and the storyboard. Yeah.
Super cool. And then also real quick as well, I was just kind of wondering, just from a, filmmaker editing standpoint, how do you plan on your, basically your editing and your storyboarding?
Oh, that's that has been kind of a figure out as you go kind of way, because I mean I studied film, and the way that we learned it is that you you write a script, and then you make a storyboard, and then you make scribbles, and then you start, and then for the whole 3D animation thing, it's a little bit different, because you have the possibility to go back and forth in the pipeline. You can redo stuff, but you cannot reshoot stuff in real life. So what we honestly do is just we write a script until we are roughly happy with it, and then we immediately start blocking out in 3D. And then usually you see what works, what doesn't work, and what needs more time or less time, or if we can include a shot. I mean, episode 1 grew from 2 minutes to almost 3.5 minutes in the end. We put so much more stuff in, because we were like, oh yeah, we can put a shot here, and then all the character stuff came in. So we do lots of planning and pre-planning in 3D, first with stills, and then with super rough animations, and then you can start to see where it's going.
Yeah, because I think having that background in film and doing some studies is helping you guys out a lot. Just because from watching, the first episode, there's things that I noticed that mainly you wouldn't really see in a fan made project. So for instance, I think about 23 seconds in, you have a nice, amazing zoom of the spy drone cam. And you basically see the camera, and then real quick it just zooms in, and you see all the detail of that drone with all the effects, wear and tear, and everything. So it's all these little things that I've seen were just super cool in terms of editing.
Yeah.
And then also too is that real quick, the lip flaps of the actual people. Great job on that. It's one of those things where I've never done lip flap in any kind of CG, but I've always heard it's a pain in the ass to do. But
yeah, I mean, we have some experience now. I guess I can say that the team and we have been doing machinimas and fan films since 2012, and obviously that helps us a lot. We have a sort of feeling now for what works and what doesn't. And for episode 1, one example I can tell you for instance is that we always try to keep the camera at a level where it's possible for a human to carry it. So we imagine like a cameraman with the camera on his shoulder, because what you tend to have with these CG shorts, and especially if people just start animating, you have these flying cameras, and it all looks super artificial, but we all are raised on Hollywood films, and these are constrained by what cameras can do, and cameras are usually either on a shoulder or on a drone or on a crane, where you have specific movement, and the movement is constrained in some way, and if you start to mimic that, you get a more realistic look in your animations.
That's a good point, because that's the one thing when watching, I think, your video compared to other CG videos done by fans, is that yours feels natural to watch, and it and like that, plus also the cutting, where I was always from film, I was always taught to cut on the action, never cut at a dull moment, and yours is it's snapping, and keeps you engaged all the way through.
Yeah, but that's just the power of iteration. I mean, it's not like we have some magic superpowers available. It's just that we did, I think, 24 versions of the animatic until we are finally happy with it, and that took 2 months.
Mhm.
So that's just that's what I always tell people, and especially if someone asks me, oh yeah, how do you do that? The sad answer is you just sit on your butt and you just try as much as you can and
Mhm.
just redo it over and over and over
Just a
until it
lot of
finally.
practice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
You were talking about the newer helmets earlier. Did you get any more concrete feedback that you plan on addressing, I guess, with future episodes?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, the past days have been crazy. We've read, I guess, 300 comments on Facebook, 300 comments on Reddit, 750 comments on YouTube. So there's definitely a big list of feedback. I mean, for instance, people have criticized the language that our voice actors used, and there's this thing called contractions. I had to look it up because in German we don't have the same principle. It's called Schmelzwörter in German, which is fun. And it apparently is a feature of the Clanners in the Battletech universe. So Clanners don't use these contractions because they consider them to be sloppy. And even in the German translations of the book, I think this aspect is kind of left out. So we kind of didn't have a way to know it until we reached our English audience. And yeah, just for the next time, we will take our script and directly work with the voice actors to make it a little bit more Englishy. So a lot of it comes down to the language barrier, which is still there.
True.
That's interesting.
Yeah, speaking of your voice actors, did you plan from the beginning to have voice acting in there?
Yes, I mean, I think I addressed it in one of the more recent Patreon posts where I did a behind the scenes on the characters. This whole character thing was a big discussion for us because I was in the beginning I was against it because, like I said earlier, I guess I'm the only one who works as a 3D artist in real life as well. And there's some experience that I have from agency work with characters, and it's pretty hard, and it ends up looking bad. So, but the guys insisted, and in the end, we did 3 characters, and we are planning on doing many more. And that obviously comes then with voice acting. So yeah, that was kind of evolved into having voice actors.
Well, actually,
Okay.
also it's kind of nice too. Sorry, real quick as well with the voice acting. I think in the credits, a few of the voice actors are actual streamers, correct?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, from the start, we wanted to work with the community, and that will only be ramped up more with the next episode. And it's a win-win situation. We have much more access to pre-built audiences because these people can say like, oh yeah, look, I'm in this video like texted, and then the text army just invaded our video, which obviously, I mean, we will not complain about that. And also these people have a setup at home, like a professional microphone setup. They know about audio mixing, and they have some voice acting experience. They are not like people that you just set in front of a microphone and say speak. It doesn't work. So and then of course it's a budget thing. We don't have the money to pay professional voice actors. These people quickly charge several $100s per performance, which is fine. Of course, they have to live on that, but we just don't have that kind of money available.
Yeah, coming back to the characters, I also wanted to say great job on the characters. Those are always one of the things with especially fan projects where the characters are a bit rough around the edges and the animation is a bit meh. But these characters, first time I saw them, that's a really good looking character. So definitely well done.
I mean, obviously there's room to improve. I mentioned that on a few occasions as well. These are hand animated, completely hand animated, which is we humans are just so naturally skilled in detecting what's wrong with a CG character because obviously that's our evolutionary benefit. So that's kind of the king discipline in CG doing characters. So we went with the hand animation route, which is pretty crazy. And Bernard and Andreas pulled that off really well. But for the next episode, we will have a motion capturing setup, which is planned to be the base of the hand animation, so that we can immediately
That's
start
awesome.
with immediately start with a much more natural looking, because you have all these kind of micro movements in the eyebrows and the nose and these muscles here, and the characters, if we work with them by hand, they have 52 different muscle setups for the face, and if you start jiggling with all that, it just becomes overwhelming. So it will look much more natural the next time around, I guess.
Super exciting.
Yeah.
Did you get some kind of pre-manufactured set for motion capturing? And how much did it cost, if I may ask?
We are still in R&D with that, so I don't want to give any solid answers. But now that we have a little bit more funds available through the Patreon, obviously a professional motion capturing setup isn't in question, because these cost 5 figures or more. But there has been a lot of evolution, especially with mobile cameras, because the iPhones have this new depth sensing camera which works on infrared sensors. They actually have a really, really well made capturing setup, which is mainly used for Instagram filters and all this other stupid stuff. But you can take it and put it on a PC, and then you have without going into too much detail, you will get a pretty good base to start on. It's definitely not perfect, and you will have to hand tweak it as well, because there's no head movement and stuff. But like I said, it gives a much more natural base.
That's cool.
Nice.
Cool.
Now,
So
oh,
okay, Bob, you first.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. No, go on. Go on, man. Go on, please.
Power of Discord here.
Yeah, to just quickly sum your question up. We are still looking. It's probably going to be a mobile setup, and the costs are okay to manage with our current Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was curious. Is that a Starly tech for a gyro for the coffee holder, or what is that though? Like, why doesn't it spill?
The coffee.
Just like in the
Because you
dropship.
stole my question,
Yeah,
Bob.
just like in the dropship too. Basically, it didn't spill, and it should spill,
Yeah.
or at least float away or
Yeah.
something.
So to go into the origins of this coffee mug running gag, I started it back then by when I did the dropship cockpit, and it was one of these late nights, and I just wanted to put some more personal detail into it, so I put in the coffee mug and didn't think much of it. And then people started commenting and were saying like, "Oh, it's probably not a good idea to have on a starship." So for the first episode, we actually decided to go with the joke. And if you look really closely on the coffee cup, you will see a small math equation, and this math equation is Newton's law of gravity.
Really?
Yeah.
And then you have.
Nice.
And then you have the middle finger above it, because obviously
That is awesome.
It's so
I
good.
completely missed that. That's so cool.
Oh,
It's
That
hard
was
to
what-
see though, to tell you the truth. Like on, you really have to kind of like frame by frame by frame. But that's
of course.
cool.
yeah. I watched the video over and over again, and by like the fourth view, and I was like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah, I mean, you definitely become. I don't know what's the English translation for that, but in German we have a word for this, which is called Betriebsblind, which is if you watch your own work over and over, you start to get blind for the details.
Mhm.
And I can give you another little secret. In the last shot, with the drone view of the Merklands walking, the rifleman walks straight through a tree.
Oh, he does.
Oh no.
And it's people started mentioning it, and we were like, "Oh, really?" Earlier in that shot, the rifleman just walks straight through the tree.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, he does.
Whatever, it's fine.
Hey, it's fine, man.
But I watched this clip at least 100 times, and I didn't notice it, and nobody in the team noticed it in the final checks of the movie before going live, and it's so crazy. You really become blind for this stuff.
Oh,
I
speaking
mean,
of
with this kind of beautiful surrounding, no one's
Yeah.
ever gonna look at the trees.
Yeah, I know.
yeah, and then also speaking of detail and time to work on stuff, can we go to the 2-minute mark? Because I want to know how long it took you to do this shot of the Shadowhawk dropping on the locust, and then the camera follows the rollover of the locust, and you see the little like tugbolts like flop over. Like it's very, very tiny detail, but I loved it. Like right there, you see the little bolt like fall over.
Yeah.
It's just the sheer sense of weight that mainly you put in there that I'm like, that's nice. It's a very nice little detail.
Yeah, it's fun that you guys are noticing it, because a lot of this stuff happened late last year, when we are wrapping up the actual animation of the shots, and a lot of these shots, when Bernard or Andreas made them, they do like their first version, and they render out a small preview viewport grab, which is still gray and everything is unshaded and untextured and no vegetation in there. And then it bounces back and forth between the team, and somebody mentions, oh yeah, maybe it needs a little bit more weight here. And then we got the idea to simulate all these small little details on the mechs. So like the antennas, the whole movie, all the antennas are simulated, so they wiggle with the movement. And when a mech does a torso twist, it like wiggles behind. So this is all in an effort to give the mechs the weight that they have, which is often an issue with animation, that stuff doesn't feel like it has weight, and especially stuff that's tons heavy has to be, because we are just not used to this kind of movement. You don't see several tons of metal just falling over in your normal life. You have to do a lot of research, and it's like a change of thinking in how stuff moves. So like I said, again, this is just do it 6 times, do it a 7th time, and then maybe an 8th, and then it's fine. So that's how this all came together.
Okay. I've got one more question for this coffee cup, though. Is it ever going to spill, or is it always going to defy gravity?
They could spill in episode 7.
You should wait until the final twist when they get the Star League cash, and it's just a lot of lids for the coffee cup. Yeah, like the final shot is just popping a lid on the coffee cup.
The cool thing with the Star League depot is that whatever we want to put in there, it's going to be fine, because the SLDF has so many secret toys laying around that we can really go crazy with that as soon as the guys open the door. So there's a lot of possibility there.
Oh, there's a future episode. Okay, sneak peek. They're gonna open up the doors.
We have more episodes planned than we have time for.
True.
Yeah, so many amazing things in there, like that little umbrella that you can put into the coffee mug.
Yeah, true.
It's more things to shake around now.
Yeah, one of the things about the details, we were talking about is the locust pilot. I love how you put the ridges like on the gloves themselves. You have three little ridges, right as he fires the machine guns. I thought that was really cool. And how'd you get the size of the Shadowhawk cockpit? Because it seems pretty big. It seems very big.
The locust cockpit is too big as well. We actually in the first shots of the booting up locust, the cockpit glass is still transparent, and we toyed around with the idea of having all cockpit glass always transparent in all of hard steel. Which would be super cool, because then you would see, like, we have the cockpits and we have the pilots, so we could theoretically let the viewer view through the cockpit glass. It's like in the artworks of Shimmering Sword or Anthony Scroggins, he always has the cockpit glass transparent as well. But as you know, scaling and tonnage in BattleTech in general is super messed up, and PGI, the poor guys, had to somehow make it work as well. And especially with the light mechs, the Locust cockpit would be super cramped.
Yeah.
And the pilot would essentially have to lay down like this to make it work. So we just decided that as soon as a mech is in combat mode, I think you can see that in the final total shot where the Locust is like booting up, you can see that his window like shutters and becomes intransparent. So that's the hand-wavy explanation of this see-through metal that they have in BattleTech, this kind of armored glass.
Start up, you damn piece of junk.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Well, kind of like the B-17 ball turrets. Basically, that should be about the size of the Locust.
Yeah.
Come in, Dave.
Yeah, I can see it right there. Yeah, I mean, nice though. But yeah, the shell hug thing just really big. I noticed that, but because like normally, like, just like you're saying, the cockpits are like super cramped because they got to fit fusion engines inside these things and all the different electronics and ammo and everything. But did a good job on that though.
So
Remember
we
the
are,
old Mad Cat cutaway?
yeah, we are rescaling the exterior of the vehicles and the mechs. So we got some feedback on that when we started posting the first renders, because our mechs are smaller than PGI's mechs. By default, we rescale them to around 75 to 85% of their size, which makes it much more believable, I guess. But what we don't rescale is the cockpits, because then we get all kinds of crazy problems with like how the people fit in there, and we essentially have to rebuild them completely. So we just stick with what we get from the game and what we get from PGI, because it's like a cost in time versus payoff. Then okay, you have smaller cockpits, but then you have to essentially remodel the cockpits completely from the ground up, and then the characters doesn't fit, and there's no space for the arms, and it all becomes super hard to work on. So we just stay with it.
Did you get any? One last question. Did you get any contact from PGI or from BattleTech, Callous Game Labs to do something for them yet? Or, I mean, this is beautiful. This is like one of the things that, like, it deserves to be part of, well, it is part now BattleTech, but be part of the major things of BattleTech.
So I can say as much that we are always reaching out to the involved parties, but the response has been pretty much non-existent, which is good in a way, because then we can just keep on doing what we do. But also a little bit disappointing, because of course we would love to work with the official guys, and PGI has data on their servers that would make our work so much easier if they just gave us access. But we are open for anything, and I think there's enough contact detail of us out there to just reach us really quickly. So if somebody official is watching, just write me an email. I mean...
Yeah, okay. Bombadil.
Yeah, Bob. I mean, we got contacts to Bombadil. Oh, also, and then I also have one last question too, or comment. The person who does the music, who are they? And then do they have like a channel or anything like that? Because they did a really bang up job on this.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Yeah. It was super cool. For episode 1, we got a full composition from a professional artist, and in the credits we have all these people mentioned. So his online alias is Pronoboso. His real name is Patrick. A little bit earlier, like a few seconds earlier, where the full team is shown. Like, let it play 1 second. There you go. Yeah. His online alias is Pronoboso. Like, he's actually pretty successful on Spotify. He has a few songs that really made it and got over a million streams. So if you like his style, just check him out. For Hard Steel, he had to go a little bit more the orchestral route, but in the end, during the credits, he really let his electronic dance stuff go, which I find super cool. It's people keep on asking us which track is used there, but it's all one track and all one custom composition.
Yeah, it's really good, really talented.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Final question for me is going to be about the story in the video. So the Locust pilot, more or less suiciding there, is not something you would see a normal pirate do. Is that on purpose, or did it just come up?
So I have a fluff and lore document up here because I'm not the lore professional from our team. We have somebody for that, but he's shopping groceries right now. But he was so kind to write me this document. So these pirates, I mean, someone in the comments already kind of went on the right route. If you want to find out more about these pirates, you have to pay close attention to where we are on the star map and what kind of paint job these guys have, because we didn't invent these pirates.
Okay.
We did invent their specific unit, but the background of them is law backed, and that tells you a little bit more about what their kind of mindset is, and also obviously the mission they are on is super important, because this SLDF depot is quite a large one, and it's built into this mountainside, which has all this internal bunker structure available for secret goodies to be in, and these guys are pretty serious about what they're doing, and in episode 2 you will, I guess, catch a glimpse of that.
Well, yeah, I saw the tank that you have for episode 2, including episode 1, where it kind of showed from the drone, heavy PPC and 3 heavy machine guns. That is freaking crazy for a tank. That is gonna be nice.
And then we have a bunch more vehicles. I guess we have these 2 hover tanks there. Then of course these guys have mechs as well. We see 1, but there could be more. And then on the left we have this vehicle, this large transporter with a tarp over it, which covers another thing that they own.
Oh,
I
that
didn't
is
see
a
that.
long
Okay.
boy.
Nah,
It is,
that's not long, Tom. Can't be.
Really, really long and big vehicle. I guess we already posted a teaser of that a while ago, so I can give away that this is a mech transporting vehicle.
So there's a mech underneath there. Okay.
Maybe.
Maybe. We don't know
knows?
yet.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I like it. I like it already. I'm gonna have to research on the pirate that you have there on the pirate band. So don't tell me. I want to know because I love researching this crap. So it's okay. Don't tell me. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, that's the cool stuff. Our lore guy is going way more into detail than he should have to for a purely visual episode. But it's cool that this stuff all has a good background. So yeah.
Always good to do that kind of stuff. But yeah, cool, man. Cool.
All right. So do we have any more things that you want to tell us or tease us or spoil for us?
I mean, I can just ask you guys to be as patient as you can, because obviously episode 2 will not come out next week and not next month. It will be a while, especially since I'm going to move out of this apartment in 2 weeks, so that's super crazy as well. And but we are full steam ahead, working again. So if there's a little bit silent from us, don't think that we stopped. We're just too busy putting out animations and stuff to post on Twitter.
Totally fine.
Okay.
Keep on chugging.
Yeah, keep chugging, man. Please. This is beautiful. Like once it came out, just the internet was. Battletech community was aghast. It was like, oh my god, this is so cool. So it's good stuff, man. Really good stuff, and I do appreciate you doing this. I really do.
Thank you guys very much. It's a very rewarding feeling, and it totally worth it.
That's cool. So if people want to keep up with you, I guess Twitter would be one of the best places, next to obviously Patreon.
Yeah, I mean, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and if you guys want to support us, support the TMC and electricity bills and all this stuff, just find us on Patreon, and we would be super thankful.
Okay.
And there's exclusive content and behind the scenes stuff that we are making. For example, if you want to print a little command vehicle, the Muskrat, We have an STL for the patrons. If you own a 3D printer, you can throw it on there.
Oh,
I completely
cool.
missed that post. I
Yeah.
need to get on that.
Yeah, and we will do that with the other vehicles as well. So our modeling guy Carl, he's preparing these for 1:60 scale printing. So if you play BattleTech on a tabletop, you can
Ooh,
have our little vehicles driving around.
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
That is awesome, indeed.
that is cool.
Okay. At that point, I'm just going to say again, thank you very much for all of your hard work, and please relay our thanks and super excitement to the team.
I will.
We're like, this week was really good with this and the HPG Renegade video also coming out. This was an exciting week for BattleTech, and I'm super looking forward to any future episodes. This was a visual masterpiece where you could take every second frame and just print it as a giant poster.
Mhm.
It's super awesome, and I definitely cannot wait for more from you guys.
Yeah,
So
same.
thank you very much.
Same,
And of
yeah.
course, thank you very much for being here on the First Circuit podcast and giving us a bit of more of insight into episode 1.
Yes.
And yeah, you guys have
Thank
any
you for
last
having
words?
me.
No problem.
Thank you. So that was a special episode of First Circuit Podcast with IQFish of the Hired Still. Any other time you want to have actually the crew on, that'd be fine too. Actually, that'd be great.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool.
We can do that.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much, and see you on the battlefield.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.